then it creates a prompt specifically for the resources that I already give it. And then I go back to NotebookLM, give it those resources again, and go for the output I want. And with the
Right.
output, I also prompt it with the prompt I create on ChatGPT. It's amazing. The infographics and the graphics on the slides surpass Canva, surpass all the other types of graphics.
The AI world is moving fast, but we make it easy. Welcome to the AI Because podcast, your
We got the
shortcut to turning
spark
AI
in the
hype into real
circuits
results.
now.
Smile.
Sunny's
Pretend like you're having
listen, we'll
fun.
show you how.
All right.
A new wave rising. It's
Welcome
clear
to this episode of AI because we're all back together. We're in similar places. We've been traveling and doing stuff. Greg is not at home, and there's no snow where you're at. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is
Oh boy.
I love it.
far
I
away
love
from the
it.
snow.
Yeah. So you're in Santiago now.
Yes, the highway I was on actually extends from south of Chile all the way up to California and ends
Wow.
in Vancouver. So it's an extremely long highway through the Andes into the Rocky Mountains. So it's pretty impressive.
Nice.
Wow. So you're leading people to believe that you're driving back home.
Not a hope, not a hope.
Okay, just checking. Just
Yeah.
checking. I would love to kick it off with you and what's going on because I know that AI like contributed to where you're at now.
That, yeah, that's correct. In an earlier podcast, I talked a little bit about how chat kind of helped me plan this trip a little bit and went through a lot of the itinerary and I found out when I got here that it actually paid for my chat subscription for the year in like a heartbeat. So
Oh,
what,
really?
yeah, one of the
Wow.
recommendations that chat gave me was to book my flight to Santiago
Uh-huh.
and not book my flight to Easter Island from here until I got here. And it actually saved me about 2,000 American. So
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, it put me through the process of the sequence of booking my flights, and it saved me that much money. So I'm pretty happy about that.
You know
Oof.
what it sounds like? It sounds like Michael in the just in time. I don't have a return flight yet. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Well, honestly, when I got here, I had a hotel booked for 2 nights, and I had nothing else booked until I got here. So yeah.
Wow. Michael, are you proud?
it seems like I'm contagious.
Well, you know what? The only thing I could say about that I remember the first time I went to Brazil. I went to Rio de Janeiro. I showed up and I didn't have a hotel. So I got off the plane and I spoke with someone. He couldn't even speak English, but I somehow we agreed on this hotel in Copacabana, and that's how I figured out where I was staying in Rio.
Yeah, I'm not traveling like that. I at least want a place to land when I get there and beyond the airport. Okay, beyond the airport. Oh my God. Michael, how are you doing, sir? I know the last time we chatted, we were all focused on what was going on in Google and the Gemini space.
Yeah.
What's going on with you?
Yeah, Google has been doing a lot of very interesting tools, especially with AI, has been taking off. I would say hats to Google. So
Oh, they
uh
they put it in overdrive. Yeah.
yeah, they did, and they did prove it that they're focused on this and they want to excel on that. The one I've been playing with NotebookLM and has been really nice strategies again from friends and also from things I experiment. Um, and it surpasses my expectation. Uh, with NotebookLM, you can generate different types of outputs. So you could do it in a video where usually it could be 6 to 14 minutes, a video, and it will
Hmm.
be a slide. It'll prepare the slides, the graphics, everything. You can use the infograph and it will just create from all the resources that you give it a one infograph, right, with all of it. And we talked about that last time. The interesting part is you can prompt the production of any type of these outputs. And that changed the whole game. So there's a third type of output, which is a slides deck, which is
Mm-hmm.
instead of one infograph, it's like a few, and it can go
Mm-hmm.
for more, a lot. With that slides of decks, it's the all infographics, and you can prompt it the way you want it, and it's very specific. Again, I use ChatGPT to create the prompt, and I
Mm-hmm.
even so if I have files, these are my resources. I give it first to ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT generate a prompt for Notebook LM to
Mm-hmm.
produce this specific output, right?
Okay.
And then it creates a prompt specifically for the resources that I already give it. And then I go back to Notebook LM, give it those resources again, and go for the output I want. And with the
Right.
output, I also prompt it with the prompt I create on ChatGPT. It's amazing. The infographics and the graphics on the slides surpass Canva, surpass all the other types of graphics.
Right.
It takes a little bit of time. You can leave it for 5, 10 minutes. Steve and I have been experimenting with this on a group call recently. It surpasses all the other types of graphics. So the use case can be so many. I'm working, for example, on a project right now, a business project with a startup, and I fed it all the material, the sources, and it
Right.
created the case, the
So are
project,
you
the
are you
funding.
using are you using this for like investor pitch, that sort of thing?
It can be done. You use cases for so many. This is one
Because
of them.
when you're talking, Michael, I think about like with LinkedIn or promotions that you're doing where you do carousels, right? With the prompt that you're working through. I think about all that stuff that I mean, it takes a lot of time. And so even though you're talking like it's 5 to 10 minutes, it's like it's not hours, you know?
I had the resources of 150 pages
Right.
plus others, which is about even more, where these are the information for the project, for the startup. And
And
there's a
by the way, I'm not
financial,
reading all that stuff. I'm
nah,
not reading. And that's what you
that,
have to do before is read the crap and then pull out. It's like, oh yeah, this is a good chunk. This is, oh my
so
God.
here, so here is another two use cases in one actually, which is now this can be presented to an investor, right? In a timely manner, more visual, coherent,
More
right?
professional.
More professional, presentable. The
Yeah.
idea can stick in and you cannot be lost in the game, right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, for digging in, if I'm studying in either that project as a startup or I'm studying in a resources that I'm studying, preparing for something or something I'm learning, the same use case can be used with that
Yeah.
same strategy where you can convert everything into visual. And some people I'm visual. I'm very visual.
Well, every human is visual, by the way. Every human is
So
visual.
So if you can incorporate more senses in getting in the information, like eyes, ears, you hear the video,
Hmm.
and so the more senses you get involved, the more it's easy to retain this
Yeah.
information and find it coherent, and brain can put
Absolutely.
coherence into it. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. It's mostly Notebook LM and how you can prompt customize the resources you want into different types of output, and
Yeah.
very creative, and it surpass everything.
The other thing is where they're heading is they're making it more multimodal, right? Multimodal means the voice, right?
Yeah.
The vision, the vision. It doesn't not quite yet video, but still image. And then the text, and then so you can throw conversations at it, right? Like MP3s. You can throw text. You
Yep.
can throw YouTube links. You can throw a lot of
Yes.
stuff at it, right?
Hmm.
So it's not just like taking text. It's like taking for all these
URL.
different types of yes of inputs, and then it will output all these things. And like God, like you were saying, Michael, right? These infographics, they can take a really complex topic, and like there's one that we were looking at yesterday that
Yeah.
it had like 8 parts to the infographic, right? But doggone it, if those 8 parts didn't do a great job of summarizing a complex topic. So
That's
It creates a
cool.
workflow and a mind map if you're creating a project with a certain timeline, and it does it in an Excel form. Like, I know you're
Are you
laughing.
excited? Michael is
I'm
so
excited.
excited.
I'm excited because also there's financials into this, which is a product like Canva, who just disrupted the market 3 months ago. Now you have a replacement and you can save that. You can consolidate more uses into less apps and you save the money. So it's so money saving and very, very high quality output.
You know what I wonder is I think it'd be worthwhile to actually have that conversation with Gemini or, chat on here are all the apps I'm paying for. Here's the way I'm using these
Yes,
apps
that's a good idea.
now.
mhm.
What does that look like for
That's
consolidation?
a
Because
good
I'm
idea.
I'm manually going through and looking at that stuff myself. It's like I let go of MidJourney and there's something else I'm looking. I still use Topaz for denoising and sharpening up images and stuff for the podcast on the thumbnail stuff. But it's like, how can you let go of these
Yes.
other apps that are single purpose because
Yep.
others have gone and said, oh, we're doing this and all these other things. Yeah, I think it's huge.
I think what you just said right now, in this day and era, should be done once a month and becomes part of a
Yeah,
practice
Yeah.
where people always go
yeah.
reconcile, prompt whatever their AI, favorite AI they use most of the time because it knows more about them, and prompt that, always reconcile,
Yeah,
reconsolidate, right?
yeah.
Because it's
Um,
disrupting every month by the
yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's more than every month. I mean, it's like before we hit record, Steve was talking about the updates that have come up, with Gemini launching stuff and OpenAI, at 5.2, and I just happened to notice it the other day. I'm like, "Oh, you're 5.2 now." But I don't pay attention to that as much because I had so many issues with OpenAI that I was just frustrated with it, and then it was so slow and clunky and going, yeah. So,
Yeah. So
Manoj, how's your world doing? Oh, so sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say one thing. I was kind of laughing at myself yesterday. I noticed that I had four simultaneous conversations going on with different AI tools. So I had Claude doing one thing, I had Gemini doing something else, I had ChatGPT doing something else, and then I had Perplexity doing
And
something.
Steve, that's the perfect world for you.
It is. I admit.
And he does
I,
it
In the
well, very
Microsoft
well.
world, yeah,
Trust
you're
me.
Microsoft world. In the Microsoft world, Steve, you are an agent boss. You're the boss of those agents.
No, no, he's an AI undercover.
Oh my God. I was on a podcast. I was listening to a podcast this morning and it's Jeanette Byro, who's a psychic medium channeler. And so
Mm.
she had an astrologer on there and she brought in the topic of AI and she said, I don't even call it AI anymore. She said it's intelligence. And the reality of it is it's part of our evolution.
Yeah.
So I'll just throw that in the mix, right? Is that this
Bomb.
is part of our evolution. And one of the things she talked about was be curious. So the thing that we went through with all the changes and stuff to where we don't know what's real and all the stuff. She said that's how we have to be. We need to be to where we pay attention to stuff so that we're just not automatically going, "Oh, that's true." No, we need to check for reality. We need to be discerning in that way. And this is part of our evolution. And so yeah, I thought, okay, it's not artificial because it's growing and everything else. It's a different level of intelligence.
Right. It
So just
isn't.
wanted to
It
throw
is.
that in there for you guys.
Well, it
Cool,
is,
bomb.
and actually, if you look at how intelligence is defined, it's really not even technically intelligence in the sense that it's predicting based on a bunch of data, right? Like it's basically it's predicting. All AI is a predictive technology, right? And generative AI predicts tokens, right, which are words, and so given everything that it has, it just tries to fit the available data that it has collected into our prompt or into our request.
It's
And
going to go beyond what you just said. I think
well,
it's already. I think it's
that would be, you know what? And
yeah,
you're
yeah,
probably right. This
yeah.
would be a good.
Because what you just said, in my mind, I had it in a box, right?
Uh-huh.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this would be, you know what? Yeah, this would be a good discussion. We could
Yeah,
drill
yeah,
down into this sometime.
yeah.
Okay.
Manoj.
But, but I think OpenAI and some of the researchers, they started using the term recursive learning, last week.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
So that's what they're saying is that next step where, because today we humans have to train AI and then there is limit on the amount of data that is
hmm
available.
Mm-hmm.
You need the servers and the capacity and so on. But if we are able to get into that recursive learning where AI can then learn on its own,
Mm-hmm.
uh, new things that it will not, then it won't require as much training data. And then it can become more rules-based, more knowledge and wisdom-based rather than
hmm
just putting trillions of, text into the model and then it has to try and
Isn't
figure it
that
out.
what Grok's doing now? I mean, check me, but I'm thinking that that's what Elon's doing with Grok already, right? Is that it's learning on its own stuff.
Yeah, but
Grok.
it's learning on the X tweet. But yeah, the AI model, it's still using the X tweets
I
as the
thought
input.
I'll look because I thought it was also generating things
Mm.
to learn from. I thought it had stepped into that
Yeah,
space already,
he's
which wouldn't
creating a
shock me with
Grokopedia.
Elon. Yeah, with that
Yeah,
team.
yeah, it's the Grokopedia. Yeah,
So
no, but for me, it was
what have you
Yeah.
been working on, sir? What's
it was
happening in your
a
world?
sad it was a sad week because I had to finally cancel my MidJourney subscription.
Oh, okay.
I was
And that was your thing. I mean, that
I
was
was
your
super
thing.
sad about that because it's been with me for like 2.5 years. It was the first AI tool which really produced excellent images,
Yeah.
when we all started
We were
learning
training.
and
You
doing
were
it
training
together.
on it, right? You were training others on it.
Yeah. But it was, yeah, it's just the same prompts which we had developed. Yeah, they were just not working, the text
It's
quality and all that compared to ChatGPT and Nano Banana and all
gone
that.
downhill. I
It
actually,
was, yeah,
yeah, I remember like doing prompts in MidJourney, and
yeah,
I would have to refer to previous versions. I would say, do
yes,
this in version 6.1, for example, to
Oh,
get
because
yeah,
the
it got
output.
worse.
'Cause, yeah, it got worse. I didn't
yeah,
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
you
it
know,
it's,
produced some hokey stuff. I'm
yeah,
like, where did this come from?
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that was sad to see. Let that my first favorite
Did you
AI.
have a little service and stuff? I mean, or
Yeah.
did you just, like,
Ceremony.
okay,
It's 20
release.
minutes of silence.
But
Uh,
Anuj, you
yeah.
just brought a good point, which is it has been really hard to stay and stick with one thing all along. Like the disruptor has been disrupted.
hmm
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
short period of
Yeah. Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Well,
They
and
were.
it's like what is it, Kodak or
Yep.
I think
Back
IBM's
zero.
still around, but it's that kind of thing. It's like you stood on whatever that you did, and it's like everyone else just kind of zoomed right by, and you're like, wow, what happened? Am I in the fast lane or got put in neutral, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta, it's
But at
like,
least, yeah, the general use, because I'm sure, yeah, for professionals who are working on, professional images, it may still be
Mm-hmm.
adding value to them because they were probably on a higher tier. I was just on the $10 tier. So at least on that tier, it was just, yeah, every time I used it, it was just disappointing in the last six
Yeah,
months. I
yeah.
had to
But
cut the
but
cord.
you mentioned the text challenge with MidJourney. What's
Mm,
funny, when I was just talking about Notebook LM, it's
yeah,
perfect with text and even to an extended. Yeah, Steve and I have been playing around with that, and
yeah,
it's in details. Like you'd have a full infograph with so much text and information, and it's right on it. That
yeah.
Michael,
disrupted MidJourney
you
too.
are like over the top with energy. It's like, oh my God, it's so amazing. I
Am I
love this.
interfering with the signal here?
to be able to input that much information, right? To be able to learn that much so
Yeah.
quickly, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
like
But,
Christmas arrives every day for you.
yeah.
that's right.
No, but in terms of, yeah, success story for AI, so at the end of the year, I do like a 1 hour webinar on the big operational risks where that have gone wrong in the financial services around the world. So I had to do that presentation on Monday, is where we had scheduled. We had like 430 risk practitioners who had registered for that event. So as a preparation for that, so this was the first time I had access to AI,
Yeah.
where I could do deep research because last year, this time, the web research was still not very good. So
Yeah.
it was good to see how far we have come in 12 months. But I had to then, yeah, do research on specific loss events. And then I had ChatGPT 5.2 and Gemini and Copilot open, in different windows. And then I would ask them to do the research on the same topics. And at least in that sort of benchmark, ChatGPT 5.2, definitely, was superior in terms of
Oh,
deep research capability
okay.
to,
Hmm.
because I think Google Gemini was just getting stuck. And then I heard on some of the podcasts that because now it is so successful, they're running out of capacity in the back end. So
Yeah.
a lot of users have faced that issue where they're trying to do something in Google Gemini, but then it just gets stuck.
Yeah.
It doesn't get processed. So that was good to see that ChatGPT 5.2. It seems the code red announced by Sam Altman that they sort of put that focus. But that was a lifesaver. So that is something I was able to do like in 10 hours. I was able to do research, prepare my slides for that presentation, which in the past would have easily taken 5 days. That I
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
do like 5 days of work in 10 hours, just helping do that research that I didn't have to go to hundreds of websites to go and find
Hmm.
that information. So that was, yeah, a big lifesaver to have AI
So
available.
when you were putting the slides together, was there a tool that you used, or did you create your own visuals and did you use
Also, slide,
something?
I was using a ChatGPT for images, and then
Right.
yeah, the content also I was using a ChatGPT for
Okay.
the, but it was more
Okay.
to do the research because then yeah, the research comes back with too much, and I just had to create one
Yeah.
slide.
Yeah.
So I was creating the content, but yeah, images I was using ChatGPT because with Google Gemini they put this watermark
Yeah,
on
they
the
do.
bottom side
Yeah.
of the image, which I don't like. But with ChatGPT, they don't do that. So it's the
Yeah.
watermark is somewhere in the back end, but it's not as
I think
visible.
there's a level of subscription
Hmm.
that you go up that the watermark is there still digitally, but it's not visible to the human eye,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it can be detected by
Another
yeah. Which is
AI.
what I think. Yeah, the ChatGPT Copilot images. Yeah, they have the
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the back end. Yeah,
It's an interesting thing, and what I've noticed, I think it's LinkedIn. LinkedIn will put something on there when your image is AI generated.
yeah.
It goes through and tags it when you use an AI generated, which for me it's fine because a lot of the things that I'll do that are images, I'm not trying to make it out to be like it's real,
Mm-mm.
right? It's like it's generate content for a post or whatever it may be. But I think it's a good practice so that, people aren't wondering because the quality is ridiculous now
Yeah,
that you look at it and go, did that dog and kid really do that? Or, I mean, you've got these posts and it's like, no, there's no way. There's just no
It's
way.
so real.
Yeah. I'm curious when you were talking about your workflow, and I know Michael's good at this within ChatGPT and then going back in, is if you had air quote extra time, is to take the research that you got from Chat and pull it into Gemini and create the slides or the video or something in Gemini as one of those outputs to see the quality of that. Because putting slides together is a time suck, even
yeah,
with AI, if you're not having something else to tweak it.
yeah,
So yeah, cool stuff. I'm
yeah.
excited. What are you most excited about, guys, of what's coming up or what you're looking forward to testing out, playing with that you haven't yet?
I'm going to spend more time on agentic AI and workflows and automations. That's going to
So
be a
put
key
that put it
area for
into
me.
layman's terms.
So for example, let's say I'm working on anything that's important to me. Um, For example, like building an
That narrows
application.
it down.
I'm working on building an application,
Okay.
right? And actually am probably going to try to build it in three different tools. And then
Well, you've got options, dude.
I'm
You
going to
have
take
options.
I'm going to take the best ideas from each one and meld them together. And then
Okay.
ultimately what I'd like to do one day is for the most important things that I do actually have like a orchestration agent and then have like have this three different AIs do the same task and then that one coordinates it. Then there'll be another one that judges it and then picks the best, like at a micro level, picks the best components of each and then uses those and then produces an output. So that's just a general philosophy that I'd like to be able to
Okay.
do across
All
different things.
right. All
So
right. You definitely don't want to miss turning over any rock.
that's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who else?
Yeah,
What are you
I want to
excited about?
share some I want to share some adoption related stats. So
Oh, that'd be cool.
let me share my screen.
You can share your screen. We can see it.
Okay, so this is one of the reports. So there's an organization called Evident AI. So they publish an index on which banks. So they focus on the banks are ahead in terms of AI adoption.
Oh, okay.
They look at these four dimensions on the top. So they look at talent, so how many AI people you have with AI skills in your organization. They look at innovation, so are you publishing research and patents on AI related topic? They look at whether your senior executives are going out publicly and talking about AI. And then also the evidence that you are using AI in a responsible manner. So AI ethics and making sure you're part of those AI coalitions where AI is considered as part of responsible use. And then they combine all of those into an index and then they rank. So this is like the top 2025 banks globally in terms of the AI adoption. And then they also look at the use cases. So they also provide a very rich library of use cases of how different banks are using generative AI
Mm.
for different
So
purposes.
I'm confused on reading this.
Mm-mm.
So the lower the number in these categories, the better?
So here, this
Like
is the
number
ranking
one.
on the left-hand
Well, I know
side.
I see the rankings on the left. I'm talking about in the field between
The
talent, innovation,
lower,
leadership,
yeah,
and
the lower is
transparency.
better.
So JP Morgan Chase
Yeah, this
looks
is
like
the
they have the
ranking. Yeah,
lowest numbers.
yeah, but
Which
this
is
is the ranking on each one of those.
good.
Oh, okay. It's
Each
not
one
a
of those.
quantity index,
Not a
it's the
quantity.
ranking. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm
And
like,
then the
I don't
overall,
get this scoring. Okay.
and then the
Okay.
overall ranking is then the combination of those. So of course, your JP Morgan, is number one. And
Yeah.
there was this very interesting quote from Jamie Dimon in that report in June, where they basically said that AI was too important to be part of the IT team. So they actually
Oh.
AI and then they made it equal, so that it directly reports into the management. It's not the IT team managing AI, which I'm assuming this is what if organizations who use.
That is freaking huge,
It
Manoj,
is.
because IT, this isn't bashing IT departments, they do great work, but typically they're not connected to ops as they need to be. They're like it's almost like there's this governance and barrier to functionality. And when you're able to pull out this importance to make it its own and not buried within that existing infrastructure and constraints to resources, because IT has kept people away. No, we
Yeah.
can't do that. The governance thing, there's a long lead time to be able to do things. I think that's ingenious, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, no wonder, yeah, they're there, and you're starting to see in the share prices of these organizations, like you look at JP Morgan, you look at Goldman Sachs, because now the market is expecting that they have invested so much in AI, they're
Yeah,
going to an
there's going to be
unfair
return.
competitive advantage over the other
Yeah,
organizations. So their level of profitability is expected to be higher. So while the market is going down, these financial services stock prices have been going up in the last 6 to 8 weeks
that's an
because
interesting look. That's an interesting look. Did you uncover that when you were doing your deep research?
So this was yeah, where I have to present to the senior executives. Yeah, the deep research was more about yeah, what had gone
Okay.
wrong. This
Okay.
was more strategic, where
Yeah. Are
I
you
got
here? Where are you
yeah,
in this
Well,
thing? Are you thinking this way? This is what's happening.
in fact, Jamie Dimon who's the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, he's been very vocal
I think it's
about
Diamond.
Dimon.
diamond.
Okay, yeah, yeah, okay. I think
Okay.
you're probably right. Jamie Dimon, who is
Yeah.
the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, he's been very visible. For example, I listened to an hour talk he did at it was the Databricks annual
Yeah.
conference, and it was really great. So I think early on he realized that this is such a game-changing technology.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
huge.
yeah.
Yeah.
Manoj, what else?
No. And then, yeah, in adoption, so another report came out from the regulators in Dubai. So there is DFSA, which is one of the financial services regulation. They did analysis or survey of DIFC. So DIFC is this region where there's like 800 financial services organization in like one complex.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
they all operate from there, and then they're regulated by DFSA. So you saw the adoption of generative AI, has gone from 119 organizations in 2024 to 317. That's where how many organizations this year have started
Wow.
utilizing generative AI, and then it was also involved machine learning and narrow AI. But
Yeah.
then there's still a lot who are not using generative AI
Yeah.
also.
Well, and it will negatively impact them super
Yeah,
super quick
yeah.
as everyone else is in the fast lane and they're like just trying to get on the freeway or not. Maybe they're still on the frontage road.
Yeah. And then where most of the organizations are in the pilot stage. So this is where also a lot of small and medium organizations, and we are trying to interact with. They're probably also in this stage. So this big jump in terms of
Yeah.
pilot, these start testing in terms of the proof of concept. So still, yeah, very few organizations where they have tested and they've implemented, and now AI has become like a very important part of a particular business area.
Yeah.
Still very few, but at least good to see that, yeah, they are, off and at least starting to play, at least starting to
Yeah.
a few technology. And this is how they are using. So right now, I think because it's so early days, the technology is still not ready to use from a customer facing perspective in a financial services industry because,
Yeah.
they would
Yeah.
have to
There's
do
high
it
risk.
first. So at least in these organizations, they're trying to use mainly in the internal operations, so in HR,
Hmm.
legal, and ops, to see if the process can be
Yeah.
optimized. And then in yeah, sort of my area around the audit compliance and risk management is then where the second big use. And then yeah, organizations which are getting ready to use from a customer facing perspective. And then this is the last graph on Japan. So Japan, Bank of Japan did a similar survey of the Japanese banks, and they're like on the other end of the spectrum. So if you see major banks, last year, it was 80% of the banks were in use and 20% were in trial, but now it's 100%, so it's like
Whoa.
100% of the big banks, now
Whoa.
have AI, out of which 90% are starting to use it and 10% are in
You know,
that.
it's so funny you say that. I lived in Japan back in the 70s,
Yeah,
and Japan has my experience has been from then and now the front facing with technology, the
yeah,
innovation, the technology. I mean, their culture is that way.
yeah,
And so I remember a place I go with my father designed electronics and programmed computers back in the day. And there was this area called Akihabara. Akihabara was this shopping underground thing with all these little cubes everywhere, right? It was everybody with all the electronics and the parts and the pieces and all the stuff. And I remember going with dad. He was like, Michael was excited when he was talking about stuff earlier. That was dad when he went to Akihabara. It would be so fun.
yeah,
But that's the culture, that's the nature. And so when I see stuff like this, I encourage people that may be listening, if this isn't you, if you aren't on cutting edge, if you're seeing these numbers, if you're telling yourself that it's going to pass and your head's like laying low, get in the game.
yeah,
Get in the game. Reach out. We can help you figure out what that looks like. But don't think and tell yourself, oh, this doesn't pertain to me. It does. Even if it's not in the delivery of the product that you do, there are processes internally that AI will help you to where you create more bandwidth for other areas that are revenue generating. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also good to see the where they're using it. So yeah, operational efficiency,
Yeah.
cost reduction, sort of that sort
Yeah.
of is a big area.
Well,
Information.
and for me, operational efficiency and cost reduction is a result of
Yeah.
the improvements.
Time
Yeah.
reduction and yeah, that. But information gathering, advanced
Yeah.
analytics, improving customer service. So you can see increasing revenue is still sort of yeah on the lower end because
Exactly.
at least for the banks, yeah, the regulators are still not giving them as much
Well,
free.
but that being said, Manoj, what'll happen is if you look under operational efficiency and cost reduction, I'm going to throw another term in there, which is cost avoidance. So
Mhm.
what's happening is you may have an impact to your bottom line, and it can be such that you no longer have to budget for this chunk
Yeah,
because you're able to do things internally, or you're able to keep operating expenses flat and scale,
yeah,
right? And so all that is going to fall into that bucket.
yeah.
But no,
So yeah,
it's
so
exciting stuff.
wanted to share those. So these are because these are real life adoption
Yeah, yeah,
in real life
yeah.
organization. But for me, the surprise was the revenue aspect that I was expecting, that that's where organizations would probably be utilizing more. But just because, yeah, the risk averse nature, uh,
Yeah.
other industries outside financial services.
Yeah.
But let me just show a couple of Copilot features.
Oh
So
yeah, sorry about that.
Microsoft, yeah, has introduced a couple of new features. So let me go into Copilot. So something they've introduced in Excel is that if you have an data in Excel, then you can now invoke an agent mode. So if you click on there, so the new functionality available here is called agent mode. And what that agent mode will do is basically you can then delegate tasks to Copilot because before this, you had to tell Copilot or create a bar chart, create a pie chart, create
Hmm.
a table. It could not do its own thinking. But with agent mode, now it can do its own thinking. So you can just say, here's my data, create a dashboard for my senior management, and then they're interested in these sort of topics. It can then go and make decision on, okay, does it require a bar chart? Does it require a pie chart? And it can create those charts on its own. And I did that earlier where I asked it to create a dashboard, say just when. I didn't ask it to create any bar charts or pie charts. So it automatically created this summary data and then provided me all of these charts were just created out of one prompt where it went and looked at my data and then went and created all the charts which it thought was relevant, depending on what I said in my prompt and what is important in that data. So
I
this
love
can
it.
be that big time saver, for if you want to analyze data now,
Yeah.
you don't have to be
Well,
that.
and if you don't know what to do and you're not an analyst, okay,
Yeah,
and you don't know how to present it or what might be worthwhile, this will
yeah,
give you ideas. And then you can
absolutely.
look at it and go, okay, what is this telling me? What action should we take? What action did we take that's causing this change that we're seeing now? Yeah, I
Absolutely.
love it. I
Yeah,
love
so I
it.
think that this can be a good time saver. And then they have also updated the notebook functionality. So this is similar to Notebook LLM,
Hmm.
but in Copilot, where now when you create a podcast out of this, so now they've added these options that, okay, do you want a formal, what do you want format in a more dialogue or narration?
Hmm.
What kind of style do you want, more professional or casual? And then they've got your two voice combination. And then do you want a shorter, medium, longer? Because previously it used to decide 10 minutes or 12 minutes, there's
Yeah.
a way for you to control that. And plus, you can give additional guidance. So in my case, yeah, I was analyzing this report from AI adoption in South Africa, where
Hmm.
I went and asked it to focus more on the trends and the statistics within that report, because otherwise it talks about a lot of general
Yeah.
data, doesn't
Yeah,
give
it
you
picks
important
it.
numbers in the report. So now when you create that podcast, it is at least listenable because previously it was not very good quality. It used to stop in the middle, but they've done some
Yeah.
major update to this part of the functionality. So you can now, sort of, yeah, listen to those podcasts and you have a little bit of control over how big. So this is what now I do when I get any new report. Rather than reading the report, I'll just create a podcast and just listen to it while I'm walking or
So
doing my.
so do you hear what's happening? It's like some part, like Gemini made advancements in this thing and they've had it for a while, and then the realization is, oh, we have to have this functionality over here. So if you're
Mm,
in the Google space and that's where your stuff is, or you're in the Microsoft space, which a lot of businesses are,
yeah,
if you don't have it now, just wait a moment.
yeah,
Okay. It's a coming. It's a
yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
I
on the Moonshot podcast, yeah, they floated a very crazy idea that right now, yeah, we have competition. We have Elon and we have OpenAI and we have
mhm,
Google and Anthropic. And they were saying if you have to get to super intelligence, one way is all of these labs, they combine together.
mhm.
Everybody
Mm,
just combines whatever they have.
Yeah.
So,
mm,
you don't have to have then 5 times the same
Mm-mm.
infrastructure because they're all
Mm-mm.
trying to build the same
Mm-hmm.
functionality. And somebody's ahead now, somebody's ahead next. But imagine if we combined all those
Oh
GPU
yeah.
and
Oh
we
yeah.
combine
Wow.
all the data and all that intelligence, that could be the
Oh,
way.
The
you
problem,
would leapfrog this. The challenge is it's so freaking competitive right now
Mm,
that it's like they would have to agree that it's like, okay, we're gonna go in with our best stuff, and this is going to advance the collective.
yeah.
And I think we're polar opposite of that right now because it's a dog eat dog, and words matter, but it's a
and
dog eat dog fight.
and
Um,
and competition brings out the. We've seen it time and time
yes.
again. Competition brings out the best in
Yeah.
human beings,
Yeah.
and I have no doubt. In theory, that's a great idea. Just like
Mm.
communism, in theory, might be a great idea,
I
right?
don't know
But
that
in
I'm going to vote for what you just said, but okay, go
okay,
ahead. Ugh.
the point is in practice, without the competition, innovation slows down.
Yeah. But the
It's
competition can be between US and China, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there
well,
can still be a competition. There can
yeah.
still be,
That is
but they
still, I
have to
mean,
shift it. Right now, it's just siloed. It's them and market share and all the stuff going on. I mean, you've got for-profit organizations, even if OpenAI says they're not, basically going for market share. And
Yep,
that's it.
yep.
Thank you. There's a lot happening in this space. I love it. And it's cool to get caught up and feel your energy. Michael, it's palpable. It's palpable. Um, I appreciate the time. Have a great rest of your week, day, month, whatever the stuff is. We are rapidly approaching the end of 2025. In fact, when this thing drops, it will be the beginning of 26, I think. So welcome to 2026.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Until next time, this has been Because. Please like, share, subscribe. Have a freaking awesome day. Thank you.
hey,
Bye.
bye-bye.
We got the spark in the circuits now. As enemies listen, we'll show you how. A new wave rising, it's clear and loud. AI's the future, let's make you proud. Data and dreams combine in the air. From clouds